Hi, Saber fans. This is Tom speaking. This is my first ever YouTube video and also my first ever Saber review. And I wanted to show two special Sabers. My Saberforge 2014 style Epoch and my Saberforge Exalted. These are, like I said, made from Saberforge, and I love them. I'm very happy. I've always wanted a beautiful, nice quality thin neck saber. The Luke Return of the Jedi style saber has always been my favorite, and as a consequence, I might get this changed to green someday down the road. But when I did order it, I wanted to be like that Return of the Jedi poster when the saber was still supposed to be blue, and it's like two hands holding it high up like this. But now I got this Epoch, which I got secondhand from Aaron from the Talking Nerdy channel. Thank you, Aaron. It's a lovely saber, and hope that Qui-Gon saber you got, well, that you plan to get, turns out well. I had ordered my Exalted in May. Back when I was a kid, I had the Return of the Jedi Luke plastic saber, but my neighbor smashed it for fun. He was kind of a vindictive child, very angry, and I'm still holding on to that after almost 15 years, and as a consequence, I wanted a replacement, and I discovered the Master Replicas series back in the day, and for my 14th or 15th birthday, I got the Master Replicas Luke, and it was nice. I loved it. My friends and I loved it. And we fought a bit with them, even though we weren't supposed to. But I needed something a little more dual-worthy, and I had considered having it customized by the custom saber shop, but I hated how the fact that it was just so chunky right here. It wasn't all thin like the actual movie prop. And then, so I kind of put it on hold for quite a few years. And last year I discovered Ultra Sabers, but they were just so big and chunky, and they didn't have any ones that were like this thin neck design. Though I do understand that they're coming out with one. They are changing their Archon to be a little more like this, with the thin neck, and but like the Exalted, it doesn't have the big control box, which was another drawing for me to choose the Exalted over their prodigal son. Because I found with the Master Replicas, if I tried any spinning things, it would bump into my hand or cut my hand. It just, I'm not a proficient spinner or any dueling champion of any sort, but you do try at least, and so this was a better choice for me. And also, it's just a little outside the Star Wars movie universe, but still somewhat within it. Like, I feel like maybe a character in maybe one of the sequel movies could carry this. Or maybe it could be like some kind of EU sort of saber. I don't know if there's an EU saber kind of like this, but could be. Who knows? And I just love it. It's gorgeous. It's super comfortable. It fits my hands perfectly. My hand rests right here on this black section right here. My pinky right above the CoverTech knob. My hand goes right beneath the brass part. I could hold it up here, but it just feels so right here. And I ordered this in May, and it had been severely damaged when I got it. There was this right here was just flattened, like kind of like someone just karate chopped it flat right here, which isn't a big deal, but it was my first saber. I was very unhappy. Probably got damaged during shipping. It happens. So they have a 12-month warranty. So I was going to get that fixed. And I had dueled with it a couple times in the interim while I was saving up for various things. Though it was under warranty, I just didn't get around to shipping it. And the day I had got it, I noticed that the blade had been wobbling, no matter how tight I did the retention screw. And even after a couple taps on the couch, not rigorous dueling, I felt some wobble, and it was kind of worrying. I was like, what's happening? these are warranted for dueling. I've never heard anyone say otherwise. The thin neck sabers are supposed to be dual capable. And then I was tightening the emitter. Just to forewarn you, it does come a little loose on occasion, but you just screw it nice and tight. Stays on for quite a while. Or you can just put a little bit of super glue. And then this black part tilted at this angle, and while I tightened it, it came loose and then screwed itself back in at an angle. So I had a saber that was like this, and a whole bunch of threads snapped off. So obviously this was an improperly threaded piece of metal that had caused that to happen. So this is where I want to thank Justin. I told him my plight, and he kindly offered to replace the parts and fix it up, and completely free under warranty. And I asked if I could send my Epoch as well to be upgraded with sound, because I got this as a Warrior edition from Aaron from the Talking Nerdy channel. And so I got it upgraded to sound, and I also had it upgraded to 12 watt plus. I didn't have my Exalted upgraded, and maybe I'll do that when I have it changed to green. Who knows? So my Epoch is beautiful. Like I said, I got it secondhand, and it did look a bit secondhand. There was a lot of scratches, and this part was a little flattened, like it had gotten dropped. And I didn't ask, Justin or anybody at Saberforge to, buff it up or fix it or anything. But when I got it back, now I know how it looks in the camera, and this is exactly how it looks. It's just all around pristine, just mirror smooth and mirror flat. You can see it right here. It's just, they milled it back into its original shape. You can barely even see that it had been damaged ever, unless you know to really look for it. And all the scuff marks. And also, they gave me a little bit of a custom touch. The pommel got hollowed out for sound, and they gave me, instead of their regular 2014 Epoch, they gave me something more like their 2015 Epoch for a pommel, which is actually pretty cool. It works with the saber really nicely, and it kind of also gives me a little bit of like a custom exclusivity to it. And if anybody ever does pick up one of these, I know they're rare. They discontinued this design. So a lot of people say this part is sharp here with the little edges. My dad sanded them down for me. And actually, that's something, too, that they fixed. He used his electric sander, and he slipped and cut some gouges right here. And they buffed those out. You can't see those either. Not even with the naked eye, I don't know where they went. It's like they magically were never there, because they were pretty deep, actually. So I don't know how that worked, but who knows? Maybe there's some magic going on over there. And also with my Exalted, to ensure that there's no more wobbling, they also drilled a second retention screw hole. There's one here and one right here. So this stays in pretty solid. And actually, I think they might have cut this a little smaller in the emitter, because it's a little harder to put a blade in. It's a lot more snug. It feels almost as snug as it does with the retention screw done. And I really appreciate the customer service. They really went out and beyond, and I appreciate their professionalism. I had sent this on Saturday, the week before Thanksgiving, and I got it back the Saturday after Thanksgiving, so that's one entire week, with a holiday included, too, so I'm sure they were closed for a day or two, maybe, who knows. So I really appreciate it. And so here, I'll bring my saber a little more close. Here's this nice little pommel. It's got vents. These are vents right here, and then it's also vented for sound right here. It kind of creates an echoey, deeper resonance than my Exalted. My Exalted has a lot more of a higher resonance, even though they're the same board. Just the way that they're constructed, they resonate differently. It's got a CoverTech knob in silver. These nice lines. I like my pinky and part of my ring finger just fits perfectly right there. This point is perfect right here. Like I said, the edges are sanded down, so no chance of me getting cut. Some nice grooves here. Activation switch, this kill key, which kills the battery so it doesn't drain itself. These nice little windows. I have a blade plug. It's a two-tone, which works nicely with the scheme of the saber. Yeah, just looks nice. And the emitter, which I feel like this saber perfectly exemplifies the kind of sabers they designed in the prequel trilogy, where they're just very sleek, but they still fit in the universe of the original trilogy sabers, which were a little more industrial looking. But I believe that's kind of a little more deliberate. But say what you will about the prequels, but they designed some beautiful sabers. I mean, Mace Windu's, Count Dooku's, Palpatine's, Qui-Gon's, the old style Obi-Wan, where it's episode 1 and 2. That was a nice saber. And I feel like this exists within that universe very nicely. Whereas the other one, I don't know, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't fit in any Star Wars that I like, at least. It's grown on me, but I feel like that Saberforge should have kept both designs, maybe kept the other one as a separate model, or maybe, you know, reintroduce this as a different model, because there has been so many people that have been looking on Facebook and the saber forums for these sabers, and I feel like if they even just made this a limited edition of 1 or 200, it'd be snatched up because so many people are looking for these. But end rant. Let me put a blade in. This is 12 watt plus deep blue. I had it upgraded to 12 watt plus. It's very nice. It's very bright. Here we go. Now, it's pretty loud, pretty bright. You know, this is a well-lighted kitchen right here. It's evidenced by the refrigerator. It's not as big a difference as I thought it would be, but it's a lot more evenly lit. Like, it still does dim about here, but the drop-off isn't as significant as my Exalted. This is deep blue. I'm going to turn the lights off. I don't have the clash set very well. I'm still working out the settings. I think I have them on like 4. I probably should move it to like 5 or 6. Blaster deflect. Okay, and I'll show off the Exalted as well. Like I said, the blade takes a little coaxing to get in now because they tightened it to make sure it doesn't wobble for me. And this is medium blue. Like I said, I wanted to get it like the Return of the Jedi poster, and also just go a little differently because, you know, I'm always the green guy. But I think maybe I will become the green guy again for this saber, just because now I have 2 blues. If you may notice, the base, it flares more on the base. It's not as even. It does stop about here, and then it starts dimming off a little bit, but it's still pretty bright. It's pretty intense, actually. Don't look into it And also, a neat little feature for those of you with glasses. It actually does kind of have the slight halo effect around it, like in the movies. I mean, it doesn't look like the white with the blue surrounding it, but it does have actually kind of like a halo of blue flickering around the blade. I have a blade flicker on here. The settings, you can choose sound intensity, blade flicker. You can choose the sensitivity of the impact or movement. There we go. Kitchen is nice and bright again. I'm very much a light side guy, so I will probably stick with light side colors. But I did receive a free lightsaber stand because I did order with the Memorial Day sale. So there's a third spot for me to fill. So maybe I can design a third saber that's more Sith-like or something like that. Get something a little more non-traditional for me, but it still probably will be a Viridian soundboard because the Crimson doesn't sound like a lightsaber to me. But that's my personal opinion. And so, once again, Saberforge Exalted. Sorry. And my Saberforge Epoch 2014 edition. Thank you, Saber fans, and have a good night.